Welcome back, everyone. Well, about a month ago, we were covering something in town. We became aware of a lunchtime lecture series. Now, we're a little late to the party on this one, or late to lunch, I think is probably what I should say. But in Saratoga, there's something called the Brown Bag Lunch Lecture Series. And for the better part of 20 years, they've been doing this. And we want to make you aware of it because the topics they cover every month are so interesting. Local history. And let's face it, we all love history. So joining me today is Terry Blasco, who's the local history librarian at the Saratoga Springs Public Library. Right? And Heather McElhenney, who's with the Tourism Bureau, but you're particularly affiliated and director of the Heritage Area Visitors Center.
Correct.
Well, welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here. So lo and behold, last month we wanted to find out more about Saratoga Lake, and the mayor told us, well, you have to go to the Brown Bag Lunch Series. And we covered it, and we were really taken with it. It was a fantastic lecture.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, you do this every month, right, Terry?
We do it every month in the spring and also in the fall. So we have four programs in each of those seasons.
Got it.
They're the second Thursday of the month. And it's a wonderful series. We get really good attendance at them. We have a regular following, but occasionally you see some new people. And we're seeing a lot more. Our demographics are changing a bit. As baby boomers are retiring, we're seeing a lot more coming to the program. So it's great to see new faces. But we can average anywhere from 40 to 140 people at one of the programs.
That's phenomenal. The one at Saratoga Lake was very well attended.
It was.
And of course, everyone is interested in the history. Saratoga is so rich in history, you know. Now, you must see a lot of this at the Visitor Center, right? When people come into the Visitor Center?
Absolutely. We have some wonderful historical displays there, but we have such a wealth with our museums and the library and the Saratoga rooms that we're often directing people to other places. But we get a lot of ideas. People come in and say, we would like to know more about this or that. So that gives us ideas for this lecture series of topics that we can present and look for.
Now, I think you were telling me before we went on air that this lecture series, which is now at the library, and we'll give you directions later, started at the Visitor Center. Now, if you know where the Heritage Center is, it's right on the corner, right across from Congress Park.
Correct.
It's a beautiful Art Deco building, and
Yeah.
it was wonderful displays inside it.
It is.
And so it did actually start there until it outgrew the space, right?
It did. We can do about 50 people in our community room there, and the topics just became too popular. We weren't able to. So at about 2002, partnered with the library, and now have it at the H. Dutcher Community Room.
Yeah.
Now, we missed, our viewers missed the first one, which I think was the Thursday in September 10th. It sticks in my mind, right?
Yep.
And that was the one on Saratoga Lake. What's the next one coming up?
Our next one is actually on the history of the library. It's titled Your Library, the
Nice.
history of the Saratoga Springs Public Library. The title, Your Library, comes from a newsletter that used to be published by the library. And our speaker is going to be Jean Stam, who was the former assistant director of the Saratoga Springs Public Library, and was very much involved with the planning and building of the current library that we have here on Henry Street, which is 20 years old this year.
No, it's hard to believe. I
and
remember when it was being built.
Me too.
Right, all of us.
Yeah.
That's something. Now, where is it in the library? Which community room is it in?
The community room is the main room on the first floor of the library.
Right.
So when people come in, it's just past our information desk. And we can accommodate about 120 people in that room sitting.
And you get it. You get
And
this
we get
many
it. In
people,
fact, I
yeah.
think our record attendance at Brown Bag Lunch was probably 165 people.
Well, that's
So
quite a
you-
party.
Yeah, it is quite. And we always tell people to plan to come early because parking, as we all know, can be a challenge in Saratoga Springs.
Yes.
But people come, whether, sometimes their friends drop them off, and so they can get seats. And as I said, sometimes people have to stand if we have a really popular lecture, but it's well worth it.
And bring your lunch. Now, I know there's
Exactly.
plenty of you out there going to restaurants every day for lunch, but the rest of us who actually bring a brown bag, you can bring your
Exactly.
brown bag to the library
Exactly.
and learn something and see and be part of the community.
Yeah,
now, the
absolutely.
way the lecture series is set up, it lasts about an hour, right?
It's an hour.
And you bring in different speakers for
Yes.
each topic.
And we've been very fortunate. Our speakers are not paid to do the programs, so they're very generous with their time in doing these. Some of them are speakers who have a program that's kind of a package program that they've done elsewhere, but in many cases they're doing the program just for us, so they can have a new topic to share with our audiences.
Boy, I love it. And they can be multimedia, too. Sometimes they bring slides, sometimes they actually bring video. And it's really something to see, because a lot of the footage some of these lecturers bring in is historic footage.
Historic footage, right.
So you
and
get
of course
to
the
see,
historic
right.
images that are so popular
That's
in
right.
Saratoga Springs.
And of course it's Saratoga. So we have one coming up, which is this Thursday,
Correct.
on the history of the library itself. The one in November is very appealing to any guy I know, but probably to men and women. It's about the history of the railroad.
Yes, and our speaker is very, very knowledgeable about the railroads. In fact, he did a brown bag lunch for us, I think about 3 years ago, on the trolleys
And
of
who
the
is that?
Capital
Who's
Region.
the lecturer?
His name is Gino DiCarlo.
Okay.
And this is something that he's just really fascinated with. It's a real hobby of his and a passion, and he's a great speaker. He really knows his stuff, and Gino's a good person to pick his brain about his topic, and he should be.
Well, it
be a
is an
popular
absolutely
program.
fascinating topic to start with, and also Saratoga Springs was a hub and really a gateway in the golden era for everyone who wanted to travel up into the Adirondacks, including the wealthy families who had their own rail cars. The Adirondack Museum up in Blue Mountain Lake has a wonderful exhibit of all the old rail cars, the private rail cars.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And this was the hub, Saratoga.
Yep.
Isn't that something? And we have one other one, right, Heather, coming up in December.
Correct. In December, we'll have the history of the Saratoga Drum and Bugle Corps, and that is yeah. And we're working with the presenter now and on his program and what exactly it will involve. We're hoping to have possibly some footage. Maybe we'll see what he's bringing with him. But all of the series are always on not only the library's promotional material, but also on the Heritage Area Visitor Center's website, so
Gotcha,
they'll always be
sure.
promoted out there as well.
And there's no charge for this.
There's no fee. All the programming at the library is free and open to the public, and I think that's another thing that brings people back. They're just so excited about the fact that they can come to such quality programming and not have to pay for it.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you something. I don't know what you're doing for lunch on Thursdays, but I can tell you I'm over there. The topics are wonderful, and the presentations are wonderful. The one on the lake was just spectacular. So thank you both very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And I can't tell you about one that they're talking about in the... is it going to be in the spring or the winter, or is that one going to be
We
part
don't
of
know.
it?
We don't
All right,
know.
but you're
We
going to have
don't
to go to the
know.
library site, because they've got one in the works that you're not going to want to miss. But thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.